Hello guys and welcome to a special stream today, a stream that I obviously screwed up because it was meant to be members only. However, well, bad brain, so it's going to be a goodie for everyone, an unexpected goodie. But guys, today we are doing some life coaching, and as you can hear already, our student Alay is already out on the track. I've just quickly fixed a couple of things on the stream. And he is out in the Formula Pro for a 2-hour test session. So, well, it's not a test session per se, it's going to be a coaching. Obviously Alay, not the first time in this car, on various tracks among F1, but certainly one of the students that are coming back and forth every now and then, trying to improve their performance across the board of all sorts of tracks. So yeah, today you guys gonna see an unintended live coaching. It's fine, I effed it up. So kinda pay the price to it, but that's fine. It would have been displayed to you in the end anyway. So we are in the beginning of our coaching phase right now, and it's Alay now about to just, get in touch with the track. I'm pretty sure he has done some practice before. And he will now acclimatize with the situation, and then we're gonna pick up on a couple of things every now and then. So obviously Circuit of the Americas is an incredibly technical and tricky circuit. So the coaching today is going to be well justified over 2 hours. As we are probably on one of the toughest tracks you could face in an F1 calendar, at least to my experience. Circuit of the Americas is a hyper-technical track. The SSC is currently in turn 3, can determine your exit here in turn 8, 9 out of this twisty, snaky sector 1. And then you have that hairpin that is going to be a perfect setup point for a good overtaking opportunity into turn 12 at the end of this road. So that is obviously a huge thing. I'm Marshall. Hello, welcome, thank you for joining. Hope you're gonna enjoy the stream. So again, usually this should have been for members only, so I'm sorry for all my members that this has now turned into a, well, interested people only, and those that are not interested not watch anyway. But okay, it is what it is. I've decided now to just stick with it. Let's talk a little bit about the history of Alay, and we can thankfully, and when I see this I just doubt what I just wanted to say. I'm gonna ask him straight away, because we found something out about his sim lately, so. Just to confirm, you have no latency whatsoever, no input lag. You're on your new configuration, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what we found out, and this is a little bit of a longer story. Like, we kept going from track to track, and at some stage I was like, goodness me, Alay is doing a couple of mistakes that he did last time and then got rid of them. He's kind of doing it again. So let's say on a hairpin, and you might see this here as well again. On a hairpin, he came around the corner, and then there is some hesitation going before he actually gets onto the power. Let's see what he's doing here in turn 11. This hesitation between initially picking up the throttle and then getting like full acceleration out there. So it has been more extreme in the past, and I was like, good God, what is causing this? Like, what is the reason for his distinctive driving style, I want to call it even. Like here you see it again, a little bit of hesitation coming out of the turn. Let's see what happens in turn 16. Hesitation, power now. Yeah? And he keeps falling a little bit backwards in those old habits, old schemes every now and then, but in the beginning it was really like, there was a long period. It was like, I was about to say, dude, you're out of the corner, like, what are you waiting for? And then I came across his Instagram account. And then I saw that, like, he's running a huge screen, 360 degree, I think 4 meters wide, 1 meter, like, in between, where a stiff rig is being put inside that is looking a little bit like a Formula car. And I was like, dude, you have massive latency. Like, there was a difference between what has happened on his shifter and what has happened on the screen by, like, I'd say half a second. It was clearly visible, and then, like, it dropped all over my eyes. Like, this is where all the issues is coming from. It is just whatever he's hearing and listening and seeing is so much delayed that it is more than just natural that he keeps waiting so long, besides having that habit of that we're just talking about. And that is something we're gonna tackle a lot here. So as he is still on his warm-up runs, I'm obviously having a look into his driving, his lines, his speed carrying, which has been a lot better in turn 12 compared to last lap, which you can also now see on the delta that you have visible ahead. So he's still picking up the speed, right? And I need to give him the time to be like, okay, we're now in a situation where I'm like at 95% of my abilities, or at least a sad story. I think you need a little bit more rear wing there. Yep. Or a little less rear right height.
Yeah, my rear wing is 42.
I've done laps with 38, but it is obviously... It's not just the rear wing that determines how much downforce you have at the back. It also depends on the right height that you run, spring rates, how much the car is able to lean on either side, ARBs. The Formula Pro car is obviously one of the most difficult cars to set up. I remember my time when we had Formula Pro. The difference of one click in dampers, in spring rate, or in ARB alone has such a huge impact on the car's performance in the long run that it was absolutely insane. So that spin looked like either the rear end being like simply too high, not generating enough downforce. Remember, this is a little bit of a ground effect car, so the lower you are to the ground, the more downforce the floor is going to produce, like modern F1 car at the minute. It could also be the rear anti-roll bar being too stiff. Since it happened the second time now, I think, already.
So the stiff means that you need to decrease it, right?
Yes, you need to have a softer ARB to allow the car a little bit more roll on the back. But at the same time, it's not allowed to be too much, because otherwise you lose the rotation elsewhere.
Yes. So I decreased by 2 clicks.
Yeah, that's fine.
And increase the rear wing, as well as decrease right height.
By how many clicks each?
So +3 in rear wing, -2 in rear ARB, and -2 in rear height.
Okay, where were you coming from? Like on the right side?
I need to look. So it was 68.
68.
Now it's 67 millimeters.
67, okay. We've had 64. What is your packers, your rear packer? And your rear anti-roll bar?
So the rear anti-roll bar was it was 58, I'm sorry, and I put 54. And rear wing from 42 to 45. And packers in the back 30 millimeters.
30?
Yes. Probably need more
No,
spring
no,
rate
no.
and
No, no,
less
no.
packers.
Remove the packers like a lot. I think now when you say packers that high, you've surely got an issue where the car is like relying on the packers and then the car turns immediately 100% stiff. Like because
Got it.
obviously you're taking away all the movement possibilities.
So how much low I should go?
I had it at 7.5, which felt fine to me. But again, it is like a full
What's your spring rate in the rear?
minimum.
Like mine is 52.
Spring
So
rate? Or is
yes,
it? Had I got it
spring
on
rate
max?
in the rear suspension.
Oh, sorry, I had it at rear maximum, so that is obviously much stiffer anyway. So yeah, but I have no packers and stiff spring rate, so I'm not grinding on the packers at all. But you surely gonna sit on the packers with that soft of a rear spring. Try to increase the rear. Well, we don't want to make too many changes. Let's just drive out with the current settings that you have right now.
And don't touch packers?
And don't touch packers and don't touch the other things. Let's see first how it feels, because those few changes could already mean that you suddenly start understeering. It is probably a completely different philosophy in terms of setup.
Yeah, not sure. The car kind of feels today, and it's the track wise, it's maximum, right?
It's heavy rubber, yes. Yeah, Martin, it was already a lot of changes, so I didn't want to even make more changes to it. Now, gonna have a look first on whether he feels comfy with that. I really hope that the high-speed turn is going to be improved at least. Like, you know, just a little bit more stability that I'm hoping to have from this at his discretion. Because, you know, you go... I think there's nothing wrong as he goes into turn 18. Like, that is the way you should be able to go into turn 18. However, if his car is unable to do it, there's not much we can do. Like, yeah, of course he could underdrive the car, like just coasting into it, but that is not what we want to have, as we're basically taking out performance of the car. And otherwise, there is a couple of things to pick up on after that. Out of all of these slow speed turns, he's really struggling putting the power down, getting on with it. That looks fine. That hairpin. Only thing is the exit. Turn 12, too fast in. And there's always that hesitation. You should be on the power for this hairpin now. And you see how long it takes really till the car's getting going. Might also be a traction issue. It completely depends on his feeling what the car is doing. And T13 to T16. Power pickup issue. I would assume that he's losing over a second doing that right now. Would be power at the apex. And he's cutting himself off on the exit as well. So not using all the tracks, already noted that. 3, 4, 5 looks kinda alright. Here he gets too aggressive on the steering. Here he doesn't carry enough speed, and then here he even gives away, like, he goes way too tight into turn 8, as in being at the apex early instead of being at the apex late for setting up the exit out of 9. Turn 11 looks sort of fine. Again, exit issue. Let's see turn 12. Last time he was too fast in while still braking way too early. It's doing the same again. Lines are sort of fine. And here he really needs to get, like, fully off the throttle, or just a lot more. Turn 18, turn 19, issue of using the track. In this case is also clearly visible, like, where the big mistakes happen. Like, there is surely 3 or 4 tenths just in carrying too little speed. I just want to let him go a little further, as there is improvement literally every other lap. Here the rear end stepped out once again, and that in that high speed area, I'm almost certain this has to do with the ARB. Car is going interestingly easy over these curbs. You can use a lot of these curbs in this specific track version. It's absolutely fine. But his car movement even seems that the car is just, like, completely ignoring it, which means he's either too high, and with Packers 30 there's, like, his minimum right height at best is going to be 30 millimeters, of course. Which can also give him an issue with the aero balance and the high speed turns. Again, depends on the philosophy of the setup. Now this time he picked up the throttle earlier, immediately 2/10 gain. This time he waited also a little longer till the car came around. It's fine. Turn 19. Turn 19 is the corner you can be most aggressive with the car, as long as you're not losing the rear. Okay, one more lap. So looking at a 42.2, my target is at least a low 41, if not a 40, to achieve within the next 1 hour 40 with him. A little... Yeah, this is a little bit of an issue with your car. It doesn't like...
Change of direction.
Exactly, it doesn't like change of direction, which...
It's probably differential, right?
I wouldn't blame the differential here, especially with your stiff ARB. The car needs a lot of time to, like, lean from one side to another, and it might just happening too quick in those S-curves. It's not that much of a story in low speed turns. Like, your setup is very good for, like, turn 13, 14, 15, 16. But for your sector 1, I think it's just extremely dangerous. So, I'm gonna share my virtual camera with him. where we can have a look on some things. And if you guys are interested in a coaching as well, then please write me a mail, simracing@richie-hire.com. Let me
That's
know.
it, right?
Yeah, box. Let me know your car and track combo you want to get working on, the areas you want to focus on, and then we'll find an appointment. Right. I have enabled my camera for you to join me on the Discord call. Can you join that while being in the server still?
Yep.
Laurie, thank you so much for tipping €5. Much appreciated, buddy.
Yes, I see it.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna jump into the replay tape of your fastest lap, which is that 42.2, and we're gonna go through it in different areas or different aspects. So let me quickly disable the push to talk functionality, because otherwise I'll keep pushing the button for ages. Right. Going into turn 1, braking is kind of fine. We want to start braking roughly exactly here, and I think that is also the point where you start hitting the brakes. Again, you have that overlap of throttle and brakes, which is a treacherous thing in that Formula Pro car, because you heat up the brakes, and for whatever reason, this car tends to lock the tires and the brakes more easily when you start with an overlap. So that to be considered at this stage. About the rest of the turn, like, I really like your turn, and it's late. You come still to the apex, so the entry speed is absolutely fine. What you kind of missing here, though, is now taking the advantage of the entry that you have. If you look into your car, it could point a little bit more towards the exit already, but it's fine. If I keep going in slow-mo, like we go beyond the apex, and now you pick up 30% of throttle, which is, in this phase, like up until, let's say here, completely fine. Remember what I told you before on the car? I would be in second gear here, at least from the apex onwards, before picking up the throttle. Because it should be about here, where you should generally increase the throttle. And additionally, if you look to what your car is doing,
Not using the track.
exactly, you are missing probably 3 to 4 car width on using a track. So you could put that into speed, meaning as much as the entry speed here is fine, I would even say like up until here, the corner is pretty much perfect. Remember also that little bit of throttle that you do here, leave it. Either you take it from here, pick it up, and then you go onto the exit. But at here it is a bit too early. This type of throttle you would want to apply about here, and then powering it up all the way through that exit.
To coast, pretty much.
Say again?
Coast pretty much till the apex.
Exactly. You wanna coast up until here in the way you are approaching the turn. So here at the apex, that should be the point where you should start applying the throttle again. Yeah, and then you also automatically will use all of the track, but also at a much higher pace. Because it's then easy, the car, even if the car would be here at this stage, with the amount of downforce the car is producing, you easily make that turn. That is not an issue at all. Questions to turn 1?
None.
Okay. Then we go on with turn 3, 4, 5, 6. That entry here is good. I would probably still try to get the car a tad more to the left. The specific part about this triangle chicane is, as you can see, it is like a full corner combination up until the hill that is like at the very end of the strip. So you want to open up as much corners as possible. The way you take the curb is actually good. It's actually fine. The car can be a third or up to a half here on that curb. I would personally look to not have those tires dropping behind that drain, because I think if you even go a closer look into it, yeah, you see there is a small, ever so slight edge. Yeah, and that makes your car grind on the curb, causing it to stall on the diffuser. And you see the diffuser is huge, so that is an important aerodynamical part. You don't want to stall that. So that looks fine. Here, that looks fine as well. Line is good. The only thing is here you now start braking a lot. Like, downshifting is kind of fine, but I would just try and coast a little more. Actually, the line is alright. It is just, and you see this is the result of your car going left and right. Yeah, it actually goes on the limit here already. So this is the limit of the car, that is the limit of the car, and now you're swinging it the other direction, going a little bit over the bump, and I think you also just took a little too much off that curb. You see here the car's at this stage right up in front of that cone, dropping a little in, stalling the diffuser, and that is where you lose the rear balance going into that slide. That is to be eliminated, of course, as good as possible. Other than that, it's absolutely fine. Then you should carry a little bit more speed through this corner here and not be as aggressive on the
Steering wheel.
On the steering wheel, exactly. Yeah, and then for this one, the way you take the curb is fine, but I would advise you to have the car angled a little bit more towards that inside on the exit, because from here on,
late apex kind of.
late apex, exactly. It can be if you look from turn 5 apex. I'm gonna go a bit increased on the angle. You see that cars usually would take a little bit wider line here. I would not go wider as what you did here already. That is absolutely fine. But it is safe to say that here you are too early on the apex. The line would be a little bit more like this. Being on the apex right where there is the thirds on the rubber strips on the curb. It is not a big deal. It's just like here you want your car to have like 5 degrees more rotation already, not going too wide on the exit, because here you obviously leaving the rubbered line, and that compromises the entry into that turn 7, which is pretty important after all, despite it is just like a corner where you coast through. And additionally, as you can see, it is a blind apex corner as well, so that makes things just that little bit more tricky. However, if we're looking into it, the line on it over it is simply perfect. Like, don't go more over the curb. I don't think that your car personally could take it. It's just due to the fact that you're here more in the middle rather than here on the outside. It is more than natural that your car is also here pointing more towards the exit instead of more on the outside or on the inside area here. Because what happens next is, as much as you got a good rotation out here, you want to get with the car a lot to this area outside here, because the next turn is even more late apex-ish. So, damn it. What you do here is you turn in very, very early. So you are trying to hug that curb from the get-go, which is kinda wrong. You want to be a little bit to the middle already in a steady speed and really simply just coast until the nose is turning and rotating towards the curb, and you want to be on the curb here at the end of the cornering. So what happens to you is here you fight the steering wheel hard, And at this stage, it is the car already going off the curb. Whereas at this stage, we want to be in exactly that heading, but right on this curb to open up the maximum for this turn 9 king to straighten the exit as much as possible. So when your car is leaving the curb like here, this is what your position should be at this end, so that you are really from here on just straight line this left-hander as much as possible. Because what happens now is about here, you still need to hesitate a lot in second gear and wait till the car has finished the rotation about here before being really able to go more aggressively onto the throttle. So that is important, that you are trying to be on the end of the curb with most of the car pointing towards that grandstand, and then doing most of the rotation for turn 9 here before that apex, and then from the apex onwards be able to gradually improve the power. Questions to all those corners so far?
No questions.
I think if we keep struggling with it, it might be worthwhile. I'll take you around the circuit in a couple of drives.
Okay.
So let's see how that goes. Turn 11. That is, I think, so far your best spot. You kind of delaying good on the entry. Here you really wait with a throttle pickup. You might have a little bit too much steering input, but overall it's fine. The only criticism, as we're here sitting on the apex, I think the car is not yet looking enough towards the straight here. It's still pointing a bit too much to the exit, which isn't a big tragedy here. You're not losing a lot of time. It's just, you see on the acceleration, here you still rotate, and you need to like delay the pickup of throttle. However, you do it much better than in turn 1. Again, I would try to have a little bit more rotation done here, be here already in second gear, and then pick up the throttle here on the exit as early as possible. What I've seen, you really take a lot of time after the apex to pick up on the throttle. Like, you initially go like here with a 30%, and then you keep it at those low 30% for, I don't know, quarter of a second, half a second, 3/4 of a second. It's about now when you then pick up the throttle a lot more aggressive. Like that last little bit of push from here on, if you just look how far away you are from the apex already.
It's also from steering. You need to fix steering, to be able
you kind of need to fix steering to an extent. I think also you're mistrusting your rear on those exits. You're mistrusting the possibility that the rear tires are doing. Generally speaking, turn 11 is good though. Like good line, generally good trajectory. It's just you need to increase power more early, and then obviously try to carry a tad more speed, a tad more momentum onto the exit. Then turn 12, and here is very interesting. You start braking here, which is, it's not late. It is rather a bit early even, I would say, especially with the wing level that you run. 320 is fine, but you really start braking at 130 meters or so. I think it would be sufficient if you brake here in 150 and 110 meters, because as much as you brake aggressively, look where your brakes are now. You were even down to 30%. Just heard a little bit of lockup. So here you're on the edge of the tire performance, but then your braking goes below 40%. Then you increase it a little bit, and here you already start coasting. That means from here on, up until the apex, you're missing a lot of time because you could travel a lot faster towards that. And then still be on the brake. Braking helps the rotation, helps the putting the center of gravity a bit further to the front, helps rotating around the corner. Here's what happens next is like, here you go completely coasting. with
Yes.
roughly 10 meters to the curb. However, your speed is still way too quick. So whilst you even took a little bit too much of that curb, but even without that, you would have just understeered, or better say, your minimum entry speed or your minimum speed should be at the very latest on the apex, better even slightly before the apex. So about here. However, your speed keeps dropping despite your mistake. Here's where the car's got full ground contract again. It is going, that was 75 somewhere, I think. Yeah, for a split second it's 75 here. However, here you should be deep into the acceleration already. Look how much you traveled again from the apex. Again, I know that the apex issue or the apex mistake doesn't help with the trajectory and with the exit, but this is where you lose surely half a second. And then we can keep on with the same story. Here you are roughly half a car width too far on the inside already, given away a little bit of ground. Here you hesitate and wait a lot with the throttle application. That corner here is kind of fine, well, a tad too quick here. But again, it is that hesitation on the, like, it should be here when you are in second gear and strongly picking up the throttle. For you, it takes almost until the car is completely centered. It is about here then, when you start really picking up the throttle. However, look again how far away you are from the apex, where from the rotation and trajectory would have already been fine to improve and increase the throttle. Get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Perfect.
So just wanna confirm one thing. The
Yeah.
less the speed is, the more turning car can do in terms of with the same amount of input from steering wheel, right?
The less you the less you speed is, the less you are understeering over the front end, and the more the car is able to rotate in a smaller radial. Yeah.
Because in general, what I do, you know, you always try to enter faster. That's
Yeah.
why your speed is higher. That's why you
Yeah.
need to turn more, and that's why on the exit is compromised the way
Yeah.
you're describing.
But have you ever heard of slow in, fast out?
Yes, of course, yes. And you know, I know many people struggle with this. The people always say, "Oh, I'm gonna break later. I'm gonna break later," you know, and then actually you always need to out, you know, the fast out is more important,
Yeah.
especially when you have such a, you know, straights and so on.
Exactly.
And then
So
that's just bad habit, and I, you know, and I'm kind of trying to do that and then still have it. So
yeah,
you-
if you would look what slow in, fast out is trying to do, if you would look from a sector timing from, let's say, here
Mhm.
up until there, fast in, slow out might be the same, because you're gaining half a tenth here, you're losing half a tenth there.
But just because
Whereas
there is no straight there, right?
exactly, whereas slow in, fast out would make you lose half a tenth here, but gain half a tenth there because of the faster exit speed. And then the magic of the straight is coming in, because you are entering the straight with a higher speed already,
Mhm.
and therefore slow in, fast out approach is always to be considered corner plus next straight. The standalone corner might be faster in a different way, but obviously, as you want to improve your lap time, if you want to maximize the car performance, you want to carry as much speed as possible onto the straight, which in your case, you're obviously minimizing that by going too quick into the turns. So yeah, as you're working on it, we keep working on that for sure. For further questions?
No.
Okay. Then one or two last things. Turn 18. Here you keep a lot of throttle usually up on the second apex. And it would be here where I would recommend going down to 25 to 30% to really make the car rotate and point a little bit towards to the right here. Because as much as you're going towards full and flat out, you're washing wide and compromising your entry on the turn 19, and that is once again a good car width, almost 2 car widths, because you don't want to touch the curb. It's just 1 car width though, but really you want to be here on the outside already looking a little bit into this turn 19, because turn 19 is dropping off, so it got off camber, it goes down, so it is really important that you go aggressively towards that curb so that you can carry the most speed through the turn. Because as you can see, you once again enter a bit too fast, and then here you have to hesitate between here and there with the throttle application, as we can see. Here you in this phase you're completely coasting. Off throttle, off throttle, off throttle, off throttle, off throttle, and now is about when you start picking up the throttle again. What you want to do is you want to ever so slightly hit the brakes, be completely off throttle here or on the brake, off throttle, off throttle, off throttle, and it's about here where you do it initially right. Here you want to pick up the throttle and carry that towards the outside of the turn or to the exit of the turn. But because you're heading it in a wrong angle, in a wrong momentum, you have to coast again to fix this. And then final turn, yeah, apart from the late throttle pickup, that is like looking alright for the moment. That's it regarding the things that I've seen so far. Have any questions at the minute?
No, I'm just thinking, should I soften more, like A or B in the back?
How does the car feel on every exit, especially also on slow exits? Is it? Do you have trust issues?
A little bit, but not much as in the beginning.
Yeah.
You want to press on throttle earlier. You need to rotate more, and if you drive like that, I think I can do probably less anti-roll bar in the back. Or we can
Obviously, when you take less anti-roll bar, you're certainly going to minimize the rotation possibility of the car, because obviously stiff rear is like, as much as you lean on the stiff rear and it's not moving that much, it will still like get you around the corner. It likes to probably slip a little bit more, whereas when the rear is too soft and it's taking all the energy up in the suspension, the car is not rotating, because obviously the side rotation comes from also the rear refusing to absorb the energy. So it is always like a little bit of a balance. In your case, I would say, yeah, especially regarding looking at the high speed turns, what I would do is like go 2 more clicks down with the rear anti-roll bar. That will generally help the traction out of the low speed turns and will generate a little bit more downforce, will put the center of gravity a bit more to the center. And maybe go down to 50 with the rear anti-roll bar. Let's try and work from that.
Okay.
And then I think you can hit the racetrack again. So guys, I have screwed up on YouTube and Twitch. This was meant to be a subscriber or sponsor member only stream on the YouTube channel. So obviously with that you feel it's unfair on the Twitch to have to become a subscriber to watch that. So that wasn't the intention. But I screwed it up when I've put the stream live. Also I've put it live with the wrong titling. Everything was wrongly set up. This is why you guys got notification with the more ultimate while we're in R-Factor 2. I'm sorry about that. So Jared, you don't have to subscribe to watch. Obviously you can watch it on YouTube for free right now. But yeah, this video was meant to be a goodie for all the tier 1 subscribers on Twitch, to all the sponsorships and memberships we have on the YouTube channel. And then obviously towards the weekend I wanted to present this to all of you while I'm on the Simracing Expo. Obviously that I screwed up, so you're gonna see the coaching live already on YouTube, and maybe I should have turned it off on Twitch, but I'm gonna stay live for that regardless now. Ludovic, the name is Ace of Speed as far as I'm concerned. As you can see it on some of these here, some of these boards, the green one that we just drove on the nearby. You can also see it here on the main one where the lights are. Ace of Speed. So now we're obviously coming into the phase where where I keep pinching him and pointing him towards the right directions. I'm going to still give him a lap or two to regulate himself. Very good. Yeah, that is exactly how we want to do it. In turn 6. You were a little too quick into turn 7 and 8. Seba Lenny, you're enjoying the stream. That's obviously amazing to hear. Jade Pickering, thank you for your subscription on the YouTube channel. Welcome to our live coaching. You still carry more speed into the turn than out of the turn.
Yep.
I'll let you drive a couple of 2 or 3 laps and then cut in. Remember to pick up the power earlier out of the low speed turns. All in second gear, then you should have enough traction. And here go to the outside, 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 outside. And power. They're gonna hate me at some point today. They're gonna yell the power at you a lot, I'm pretty sure. Yitzhak, thank you for becoming a Prime subscriber on Twitch. Welcome to the live coaching. Power pickup was right. It is now just about opening the steering in time.
Yes.
That smooth transmission between that. But we're gonna get there. Let's see what we can do in those remaining 70 minutes. Much better. Regarding the lap time after all. Yeah, one of his habits is surely that he's like pushing the throttle again right before the apex and then pausing the car to just understeer through the apex. We've seen that a couple of times now in turn 13 and 16. Also here in the final turn, it's just that little bit of push that he needs to eliminate out of his driving, and there will be a huge improvement for sure. Alexander, what do you mean exactly? More late apex rather than latest apex? Too much steering, therefore too early on the momentum. Still going a bit too quick through turn 8, but here we see already 20, 30,000 improvement just from being in a better line. The moment you shift into second gear is exactly the moment you should pick up the throttle. But here you shifted and then you waited another half a second. And kind of the same here on that exit as well. But anyway, keep pushing. Much better turn 18, yeah. Stay at least in third gear here, please. Probably even fourth gear, to be honest. As I think you're carrying not enough speed through the turn yet. Power.
That's, yeah. I feel like it's gonna spin. That's why I hesitate.
Okay. Let me experiment with you a bit. If you go to the pits, please.
Well, where?
Pits and into the garage.
Okay.
And just put rear air B to 20. Like, it's going to be a drastic change and drastic shift of driving, but I want to see if your car can take it and if it improves your feeling on snapping, because I see where you're coming from, saying you feel like it's snapping and where you hesitate, but we need to get rid of that because this is really where a lot of time is in. Whipped cream from a cow. It is in the car. It is probably for realism. And he didn't disable it. Because I think he can't see it anyway, as he has disabled the chassis view. Very good 5 and 6. A little too quick into 8, but apart from that, it's getting better. Yeah, Alexander, in which corner you think he's using too late of an apex? Late apexes are actually king here, I think. Lazy Titan, this was a stream planned for subscribers only, yes, to then go out on a YouTube channel a later day. It was meant to be a goodie for the community that is supporting us with a sub. Sadly, I screwed it up, so if you watch it on YouTube, you can watch it free, as I have linked it to the wrong live stream, sadly. But now he pushes the car way too much on the steering wheel. And of course, you now got less cornering performance as due to the softer rear anti-roll bar. Sebaleni, it can potentially help, yes. But I think right now we have more a mechanical issue of the car rather than a differential issue. Because a more open differential could also cause this, what we've just seen. Does that feel better, or just
Yes.
understeer now?
I mean, there is more understeer, but I think it's going to be faster overall.
Because you're turning a lot more on the steering wheel now as well, so you need to keep that into consideration. You might destroy your front tires with it too much. Alexander, that is a little bit of an issue from... You mean exactly this, right? What we've just seen, that is a little bit of an issue from the HUD, as the engine brake... The stronger you set the engine brake, the more of the throttle is being displayed here while he's completely off the throttle though. Effectively he is off the throttle despite a little green bar remains at the bottom in this stage of the turning. That is just an engine brake related thing. Keep braking before the turn and be slower before the apex to then pick up the speed. Was a little bit overdone, but that's about how to do it.
It's pretty understeery.
Yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't really help it. So what I would suggest is going back with the ARB to 30, maybe 34 again, and remove the packers and see what that does. Like, I'll put packers to minimum, whatever it is, 7.5, I think. Because I could also see the car, because of its super, it has super soft corner springs. I could see it also just like the moment you hit the throttle, it just goes down, hits the packers immediately, suspension turns stiff, and then you lose it. Jared, it was planned to be a goodie for all the subscribers and not a money grab. It sadly looks like to be a money grab since I screwed the settings up on the YouTube channel, because also the YouTube video should not have been public yet. Should have been an early access for all subscribers. But I'll take it. I screwed it up and you guys are annoyed about that. I get that.
I have 2 questions about sector 3.
Yeah.
I will ask you when I reach there.
Yeah.
So here I go to 1, right?
Yeah.
So should I put second gear here, or
Yes.
wait maybe
Right when you are on the apex.
On this, the one I
No,
just
on the
the
first one.
because that's probably the place where I scared the most to go full throttle.
Yeah, you should not go full throttle there.
Just but pick up more.
Yes.
Okay. And
Like
then you said,
you turn in first, and the moment you're at the curb, you put second and go
okay,
on the power.
so here you mentioned something about being on third or fourth. You meant not this corners,
No,
but
the
this
next
one,
one.
right?
Yes,
So
this is
here
third or
should be
fourth.
three or okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, exactly, but I don't want him to approach the turns at all with throttle because I want the differential to be open and able to be rotating. Remember about the speed, the general speed in turn 1. Almost, still want to be at the apex a little later there, but get in there. So slowly but surely looking a bit better. Yeah, finish the braking until you're at the turn-in. And second. And second. Yes, much better. Here remember to lift early before the second apex. And second and power. Okay, and coast a bit more here. Now you see we're not on the inside at the end of the turn, therefore straight away losing time. Second and power. You still probably have too much rotation to do after the apex still. But we're getting there. Turn 11 is tricky in that regard. This was much better. Now you kept the brakes on until you turned in. Second and power. Second and power. Lift. And now power again. Power. Yeah, keep in second here. Third is too low. Yeah, much better, much better. Very important to miss the anti-cuts there.
Yeah, it means like brake too early or turn too much.
A little bit of both. Yeah, you broke too late though.
Okay.
And you tend to keep turning a little bit too early into turn 13 that you just went through. Therefore, like cutting off your momentum that you have from the outside. Liminal Thoughts Simracing Expo is I think Europe's or even the world's
Should I go
biggest
to one in the
simracing
last corner?
trade fair. Say again?
Should I go to one, gear one in the last corner?
No. Power, 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 power. Almost. Entry speed was much better. Broke too early.
Yes.
If what did a lap, you want to see it from the camera that captures the screen, or you want to see it from the cockpit view? That was a very good turn, 12. Just can carry a bit more speed and then you're good there.
You know what's funny?
Hmm?
You know,
You didn't
the corner
think at
you
all
said...
about...
Yes, because I was actually listening to you. I think you didn't ask a question. You asked someone else question.
No, I asked
But-
you the question.
Yes, so I was distracted. I was thinking, is he asking me? And in that moment, I did that turn.
And you did it really good.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So think less, drive more.
To some degree, yes.
Yeah, that was wrong approach into the S's. You're going in too quick for turn 8, and the car doesn't really have the chance to come to the inside. I'm just hesitating a bit too much on the exit. Yeah, I think to give you a little bit more of an idea, it would be worth if you watch a lap from me, where I can talk you through a couple of corners. So you can obviously watch it from the onboard here in game. Just let me know whenever you are.
I am ready.
Okay. What was your fuel load? I have 100 or 97.
96.
Okay, so it's comparable. Right. I'm just gonna do like a lap or two, talking you through it. So the first 3 turns of that fast section are actually alright. Just want to open it up a little more. Want to be very much on the inside. And here for turn 8 you really want to come from the outside, be on the curb here on the exit, and therefore opening up the left-hander. That is the best way through. It allows you to have really late apex there. Then for this turn you can actually overshoot it, and you see I'm going to pick up the throttle even before going through the apex. So that is how I carry the maximum available momentum and speed onto the straight. And this turn is kind of fine. Also, I'm trying to pick up the throttle even before the apex, just to the tires to warm up a little more. And then of course in that section you need to have the car dancing a little on the rear, managing the throttle on the edge of what the car is capable physically. A little bit of a lift. And you want to go all the way to the right, 4th gear. Make maximum use of the track. And also here, wrong gear, should have been in 2nd. In order trying to maximize the exit speed. We're gonna do the same, like here. We just stay straight most of the time, and then picking up the throttle as early as possible, making use of all the space available. Then as I said, the car can easily take turn 2. And the less you steer, the more stable the car is gonna be. Turn 7. Or just kiss the apex, and here just like really wait till the car rotates in, and you can straight line this turn 9 as much as possible, putting out maximum speed. On the exit here you drive past the apex a little bit, 2nd gear, and then you start gradually picking up the throttle. You see there is that difference that I'm really attacking the car, attacking the power like right on the apex as much as possible. Here you want to be really on the inside of the curb, as this can rotate the car around. For this turn you're doing it really good. You want to be at the apex here, and then picking up the throttle. Second gear is much better here, and you've got better traction out of the final turn. You still see I'm fighting the car a lot as well, but that is just also the nature of the track. Not 100% optimal there, as I also touched the anti-cut a bit. I even lift completely for that 2nd kink. It's a bit too quick, and I needed to wait and hesitate a bit as well. Also too quick into the last turn, so not the best final sector, but I think you kind of get an idea where you're losing the time. Like the biggest differences we see is in turn 1. There I think I take away like half a second of you, but it is mostly down to turn 1 alone. Like if we compare sectors, your best sector 1 is 25.5. My best sector 1 is 24.9. So, but that only really comes from turn 1. And then in the middle sector I take a lot of more time away from you, since I think, where is the middle sector starting? I think right before you go uphill turn 8, 9. This is the second one where you lose a lot of time, because you're not on that curb, you're not getting turned around turn 8. You are, I think once you almost hit it there, if you get what I mean. But you're pointing, and if you quickly wanna join me on the virtual camera again.
Yes.
Yep, still hitting at the same angle. See, that's what I mean. I'm quite late at the apex. This is when I'm here, your car is most likely here on the inside already. And then when I'm here, your car is already going off that curb while I'm still going on the curb. And then here, of course, I am probably a good car with more to the right. But that enables me to carry more speed and more momentum through that turn 9, like it's here. I'm doing most of the rotation on that little crest. Yeah, and then I can, like, I'm at 160, almost 60% of throttle. It might be the fact that my car can take it compared to yours. Or we're looking at yours at the same spots. You're 15 kph slower than me in second gear, only 40% throttle, and you still wait and hesitate till you get out of the turn correctly or good enough. And that was still despite we were quite close to it. But remember, here at this stage, my rear right touched the white stuff still on the... Sorry, my keyboard is acting up. Still touched the white part of the curb, and you just have to take that extra mile around it. So that's something. And then we go back to me real quick. As much as I took this way more aggressively than you, I think this is not the biggest area where you can improve. This corner here, you see that I'm pointing a lot more towards the exit straight already. Like I've done majority of the rotation.
So so I don't know how to make it to rotate more. Like, so the braking, the point where I brake is fine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So do I turn the turning moment? Is it too late? Is it too early? Or is it too much? Or is everything?
It is a bit too early. I think you have turned in here already. Are we gonna see? I am at my minimum speed is, let me quickly check, 75 and 73, 72. Here I go to second and pick up the throttle, 73. So at the apex I'm already increasing the pace again. When we have a look at your best lap, which was somewhere here at the very end there. You are carrying up until the apex. Like, it's obviously hard to say because I am down here already on below 70. I'm at 72, and this is where I start picking up the throttle again. Now, whilst I also started turning in from... Sorry. Keyboard. There we go. From around here. So I really went a little bit past around that apex that you can see at the top left
But
here.
you brake at the same point.
I brake roughly at the same point, I'd say. Let me see. You brake. This is the 100.
Yes.
Yeah, you brake at 95 meters. And then here you start turning in and locking up a little. And then you wait for the car to rotate, and like your car is pretty much parallel to the cone. In comparison to my car. Oops.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna drive slowly and just focus on this moment, on turning late, because that's probably one of the strongest habits I have.
So I brake even earlier than you a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, I go a little longer straight, and then when I'm at the apex, my car is more parallel to the white stuff,
Mm-hmm.
to
No,
this part.
I understand like what you're saying. Like I'm just thinking how to start doing it,
Yeah,
because when you go and do everything at the same time, just need to again, if you forget about time and you just focus on late
yeah, you need to
turning.
focus on the driving. Maybe what is an
No,
indication?
no, no. I'm just saying like just late turning, even that.
Yeah, yeah, it might feel losing time when you go wide, but you're gaining it back, or more of that actually on the next straight. This is why slow in, fast out. Um, and something else, you see that my
Yes.
turning is a little less. Your steering wheel is almost like
Yes.
equal and
Parallel.
parallel here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the most that I steer. From the point when I pass the apex, I try to get the car straight as quickly as possible. Yeah, I'm fighting the rear here as well. And then, well, I just manage the rear a lot more. I'm much more on the edge, on the physical limit of the car than you are at this stage, because I think the moment you get close to the limit, you probably feel that you need to be careful, that you need to be yeah, like you need to underdrive more in order to stay happy with the balance at this stage, I'm afraid. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let me try to do that.
Yes,
Again,
that's
I'm
good.
I'm gonna be very slow right now. Just focusing
It's
on
fine.
turning.
It's fine. Would you click me? Uh, I really need quick toilet break though, so
Okay.
I'm back in a minute. Okay, back. So let's see if he's able to put some of these into practice. I may fail here with the low 41 or even the 40 on the lap time. It might not be 100% his driving only. It's perhaps also his setup that might be a little bit of an issue here. But oh well. Can't sadly fix it all in 2 hours. Especially, I think his car needs a complete rebuild. And at this stage he's just trying to take lines, going a little slower, and that is absolutely the right approach. Sometimes you need to take 2 steps back before getting 1 forwards, or 3 forwards in that case. Yeah, but even here you see it, on his own delta, that is worth 2/10 when he comes out of turn 8 the right way. And also what he's just done in turn 11 now, like, even if he goes way slower, you just learn what the car is able to do when he goes slower into the turn. Yeah, for that corner you don't even need to do it that extreme. Like, the way you did this one before is kind of fine. Yeah, for that second king, reduce more throttle. That way you can rotate the car nicer. Yeah, exit is much better. And if you guys appreciate the content though, please consider becoming a subscriber on the YouTube channel or follower on Twitch. Again, I'm sorry about screwing this up on YouTube, as it should have been a sponsor-only video, not live, but whatever, it is what it is now. Don't do that throttle, please. Like, before the apex, you do that heavy with giving it a little push. Yes, like this. That's much better. I don't need to lift that long. It's very important that you lift a good chunk before the second apex, and then when you pass the second apex, like you would pass a hairpin, you can pick up the throttle again then.
Too much speed.
Oh yeah, way too much speed. Yeah, that was a really good approach there to that exit. Lift, power. And not as extreme, a little bit more gradually, but you'll see that will give you a push. Yeah, Marco, it is a non-official DLC as well, so some custom free third-party content creator did this. Without the throttle you would have been able to keep it, but fine. Part of the learning process. Alpha 0.2. Bro, you gotta say though, if you look at on the more ultimate circuit of the America track and then you drive this, which is just like super flat. In Germany, we would call it Topfeben. And Topfeben means like if you like cooking pan as flat as a cooking pan. Yes, very good. Lift? Power. Keep you to it. Just keep going. This is where he certainly found 2/10. I guess you need to try to still do a little bit more rotation before apex, but
Yes.
you're getting there.
This is extreme, right?
Yeah, but don't try it at that corner too much, like, just leave that as it is, because I think there you are running close to, like, more closer to the optimum than compared to other corners. I think his virtual personal best might already be close to a 40. Yes, nice. Too much brake. I hear you slowing down too much now. But you need to slow down here. Try to do it with less steering. The car needs to get to the inside without you steering more, just from pure speed and travel. Too early on the turn, sadly. Also try not to abruptly to steer in, because that makes the car quickly following the front end and then it like washes out into an understeer. You want your movement to be sort of gradually, so that the car has time to react on it. Yes, like this. You went in too violently into turn 16. When going over that crest, you want to have the steering wheel absolutely straight, otherwise the car's gonna snap on you. Yes, that's exactly how you want to get the car to the inside line. You haven't increased the steering, you just altered the speed. This is why footwork sometimes is even more important than the steering itself. The very, very underestimated technique to balance and to control the car with the feet. Go a little bit slower through turn 18. Yeah, exit was really strong. Please stop trying to do the same technique for this turn. Go back to whatever you've done there before, which was like a lot better. Yes, that's really good. Try to carry a bit more speed through turn 19 and try sticking it in 4th gear, be a little bit more aggressive on the power. Sadly, you were too quick again into turn 8. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's a ghost. Yep. Much better. If you didn't steer that much, this could have been the fastest ever hairpin that you did.
Yeah.
Because, yes, you were maybe a little late on the turn-in, but not that late. Ich weiß nicht, was ich mit dem Armfeld könnte. Ich verstehe es nicht. Don't do that throttle before the apex. That's the reason why you want to steer off there.
Yeah.
I know it's a habit of you, but it's very important that we get this out. Where's your engine map? Engine brake map?
10.
10 even, okay. Like Fireball Formula Pro Car. Fantasy V10 modern F1 car.
Other thing is my tires are gone.
Might be right, yeah. It'd be tricky with that entry, especially since the speed pit limiter is like in the middle of the turn.
Yeah. So here, you know what I noticed? You need to go, if you don't go on full throttle here, because it's downhill, you're gonna lose the rear.
Yeah. Again, you want to have a good traction when coming over that hill already.
Yeah, what I'm trying to tell you, like psychologically, you know, I lost it so much on downhill that I think that pressing full throttle, even if I do everything correctly before, it's counterintuitive, you know? Because when you lose rear downhill, you feel like, oh, it's too early even. So I cannot even press full throttle before that, like it's impossible.
Yeah, but try doing it with a short shift then. Remember, short shift is helping in such situations. I think your problem is you're coming over the crest too slow. If you would be faster, you would have had more downforce on the rear. And
Yep.
the faster you go, the less simply you spin, obviously. And then together with a short shift, maybe in third, that should not be an issue at all. Depends on your gearbox as well, though.
But again, it's late turn in the first corner, right?
Yeah. Sadly, that short shift has taken away a lot of momentum. Just let it go. Yeah, the exit is good, but now you broke like 50 meters too early here. Yeah, very good. Yeah, that's very good now. If it doesn't jinx final turn. Ha! We got it, a high 40. 47. Yep, Dimitri. Oh no. You keep too much steering at the initial... Like, here you try to stay too much in the middle of the road on the exit. Really open the steering, let the car go as much straight as possible.
Outside, yeah.
And then try to slow down way before the exit of the turn. Like, you want to be somewhat able to like semi-throttle it gradually around that curve. Yeah, the turning in point was good. It's just there, you need to really be off the throttle and be a little bit of the brake so that the car rotates in. Remember to go more to the outside here, even. Open the steering, open the steering, open the steering. And you want to stay straight over that crest. You want to be really straight. Yeah, can stay in fifth here. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Now throttle it up again. Yeah, that is the line you need to take now. You just need to do it like fluently in a dynamic way. Wait with the throttle till you've really reached the apex. Only that way you can do the rotation you need before the apex. As you, with that throttle pickup, you do that early, it just causes the understeer. Early on the power, please, here. Yeah, like this. This is looking good. Power. Hey, you see here you did dray brake. And that
Yes.
actually made the car spin, but it also means if you do it just right, it rotates better.
Yeah, the last corner is the trickiest in terms of I don't really know how to make myself to be on throttle earlier.
Stay here in 5th. And don't rotate that much on the steering wheel. That's killing the front left. Like that will work for 6 laps and then you will just understeer and it's getting worse every lap. Yeah, you came already slipping slidey over the crest. But the initial idea that you had was much better. Like that would have been really competitive. Yeah, broke too early.
Yeah.
You need to work a lot on timings and headings and like the technique that I'm trying to introduce to you is obviously not the easiest at the same time, but that is just the nature of the track. It requires a lot of high technique driving. Anticipating apexes, anticipating exits and carrying momentum.
And my problem was now, I was trying to do one by one, and you can't really. You need to do everything like you cannot brake earlier and just work on exit,
Yeah.
It should be all one thing.
Well, it's like the same issue that you faced back in Monza. If you focus on the braking, your turning was an issue. If you focused on the turning, your braking was an issue. And this is like, you need to, as much as you focus on an actual task, maybe I'd take that after the laps. Yeah, those exits now usually look a bit better, but obviously you lose so much speed and momentum on the entry that nailing the exit is an easier task. Like we missed the apex there. That was one of the best zone 4.56s I've seen from him. As he's really just like... Did you notice something in your sector 1? Especially
No,
turn 4, 5, 6? You steered like the half amount of it than what you did previously.
good.
And your delta just came down by 2/10. I think you're just forcing the car a little too much through the high speed turns. Okay, so last lap.
That's okay.
Unlucky.
Yeah. Today, I was saying that, you do everything, right? And then there is a habit
Mm-hmm.
of turning early. And I said, forget about everything, like just be super slow.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of didn't work because you see, the times I was breaking earlier, it was kind of intentional. Because I thought
Okay.
maybe if I do kind of everything slower, maybe it will be easier, kind of focus on one thing. To change the habit. But then you go back and say, no, you kind of need to do everything together.
Yes, of course, of course. It is obviously a good thing to approach slow and then get a couple of things in. But then, of course, it's always about the combination of it after all. Um,
Yeah.
and that is like coming back to what I said in Monza. As much as you need to focus on one thing specifically to improve that, you shouldn't forget about the other things because you need to combine that new thing into your existing stuff already. Like I'm looking at your status quo, and then from your status quo onwards, I try to adjust and pick up on the issues that I see. And I'm kind of fine with it if you be like, okay, for the 15 minutes, I just like focus on getting the um getting the getting the main gist. Um I kind of want you to focus on these things, of course. But that also means you you should not forget about the stuff that you've done like all right to that moment.
Yeah, I mean, as long as if you think like I'm getting better overall, time, as time passes, then probably whatever I'm doing is correct. If not, then I need to change something in the way I learn things.
Yeah,
So just let me know.
that's fine. No, it's fine if you take 10 minutes to just like get used to the technique part that I want you to improve. Um it's just you need to also be able to kind of flick a switch and return to everything that you've done before. Like you shouldn't throw it overboard like you sometimes do. Like that is obviously the habit that we're talking about.
Okay. Okay. You still here, right?
Yeah, I'm still here. You have any further questions for the moment?
No.
Like, I really advise you to like pick up the replay file, check a couple of my laps again.
Mm-hmm.
Also, obviously, when you get the video, or you can like already see the video, obviously. Um, find differences, as in what we're doing different visually. Like the sad story is that I'm going to be out of town from Thursday onwards, like before your race. You can send in some Motec. I can try having a look onto it and point at some things, but I won't be able to do a call, I'm afraid, and then it's probably a bit difficult to get the point across.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just, sometimes you should not think too.
It was
You
so
need,
interesting, like you said, you were listening and not thinking at all, and suddenly you take that turn
yes.
like perfectly fine. It was like, why are we doing this? Like, obviously you can do it. It is really weird to see, like, when you start focus on something that you can completely forget about the other stuff that you've done well and good already. Because in hindsight, I'm sometimes afraid that whenever I teach you something and then you focus on doing it, like even as a homework or in the aftermath, that you're like getting completely caught off.
I mean, let's take one thing, like for example, braking. Am I
Yeah,
braking as I used to, or I'm braking okay now?
you're breaking much better than what we started with 3 months ago.
Yeah, so that's what
Like
I'm
most
saying.
of it is really the first initial break is strong, then you gradually release the brake, you don't lock up too much. I think it's really fine. Like you're coping much better on the brakes.
So I'm saying, so maybe as long as I improve, if you feel like I'm stuck, then please tell me. Like, and not from one session to another. Like, if you see like there's just no improvement, because
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
today I was like all about exit,
Mm-hmm.
and in the beginning I was like, I just don't do it. I understand exactly what you're saying. And the things you tell me, I read about it. I heard about it multiple times. And I said like, I don't care. Then I intentionally, it's not because I slowed down on other aspects, not because I cannot focus on it. It's because I said, I just want to think about that thing.
Yeah.
But then I was like, no, it doesn't work. And then, when sometimes even you relax. But that turn before the straight, it's just mm, it's a habit. Like I need to do that way, and that's why remember I always not on the kind of I'm not using track completely. That's kind of one
Mm-hmm.
thing on entry. That's all one thing.
Yeah.
It's just I feel like I need to full speed go in, which is common. Most people do this mistake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, at the same time, it is all linked within each other. Like, you're not using the full track because you're kind of scared to miss on the apex while you're trying to take maximum speed into the turn.
Mhm.
If you take a look at it in a different way, if you go a little slow into the turn, it makes it for you easier to hit the apex. When you hit the apex, you can push a lot harder on the exit, and the things just become a little bit more easy if you just adapt your technique towards it. Um, I will send you my setup guide. In that setup guide, you find also a paragraph on slow in, fast out on the driving technique itself.
Okay.
Um, maybe you can have a read into it. It is very, very detailed written. I'm afraid it's not the easiest English in between, but in
No
that
problem.
guide, you should find a good explanation together with a little bit of a chart that indicates different driving lines, that shows you what is the benefit of the driving line itself. Um, and that should easily give you a little push on like the theoretical side. Maybe that makes it easier for you to put it into practice.
Yep. And the first corner, just the question, the first corner, the approach should be like that, which is the corner before the main straight.
Here I also advise looking at some real F1 pictures. All you see is like, even when you look from the TV cams, it looks like they're driving like a roundabout about that curb because
Yes.
there's also a bump on the inside. But what they are basically doing, I mean, as you approach the turn, and maybe you quickly gonna watch my virtual camera once again, because I'm it was already.
It's gone, right? Because you changed the session.
No. Like the virtual camera on Discord. I mean,
Oh, I see.
let me just find that if I can get a good view. Uh, I need to do difference. You see, as this corner is like it goes
I don't
out
hear
of
you.
the. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
The corner goes out in a V shape kind of thing. So if I put the car here, you see from here on it just goes left deeper and right straight. So what you want to do on the top of the hill then is you want to be as wide as possible into the apex that keeps moving further and further to the right. Like if you look at from that line here, you see how much the corner entry opens. So you want to be all the way here long on the outside to then be at the apex like this and straight line it over the crest. It feels super weird and it is super hard to do as you can't really see the apex, but you want to be really, really late on that apex. Because the apex goes so much to the left, you get like the moment you brake, you even keep distancing to the apex. And you want to gradually reduce that distance to the apex there again.
Okay. The other thing I'm forgetting, is looking far ahead. I remember like a year or two ago when I discovered that I'm not, looking far enough. I remember it was Monza I did, and my lap time improved just by changing where I look.
This can
And
help here as well, like
yes,
especially when you reach one of these apexes, you immediately need to watch ahead, like where is the next kind of waypoint that I need to anticipate for sure. Yeah.
yeah, you need to remember to do that because when you look, it's just magically you hit the right point.
I mean, obviously, if you're just like focusing so much on apex, then you start turning into early, then you are just at the apex, and when you then look ahead, you're like, oh damn, my exit is not going to look good here.
Yep, yep.
And that is something you need to take into consideration when going into those late apex corners. That's exactly it. Those late apex corners, you're not allowed to just focus on the apex, but you need to think about the apex. Focus on the apex while focusing even further on the exit.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Any further questions?
No, thank you.
All right. So I will send you the guide.
Mm-hmm.
Then we take it from there. Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, guys, once again, I'm sorry. This should have been a stream for the subscribers of the channel only, for the sponsors of the channel only. I screwed this up. So, I don't want to make people pay to watch this, of course. But if someone has paid to become a subscriber already, then I want to give them a goodie for their support. That is the reasoning why the stream has been set up. The way it was planned to be set up, I screwed that up on YouTube. Now you guys got a live coaching session done, which is probably interesting for you. It's also good for Alay because he can jump straight away into the video that I would have not had to push and upload it. But okay, I understand if you guys are frustrated about this, and I'm a little bit sorry about it as well, because that wasn't the intention to make this feel like it is a paywall thing. As much as I don't want to encourage you guys to pay money to watch this, I would like to praise the guys that are supporting the channel with a sponsorship and with a Prime subscription, and give them a goodie back. So yeah, those guys could or should have been able to watch this live, to ask their questions, to maybe contribute to it with a discussion. That is a value added, or shall be a value added, for their for their satisfaction, I hope. After all your work with a motorsport company that plugs its own chicken with DLC and EA, etc., who subscribes to see the graphics in this rubbish of a game? Change the game. Don't keep up with that rubbish. I appreciate your honest opinion on it. If I could do coachings on Le Mans Ultimate, I would already do so, but I can't because I can't have a server. And then, of course, Alay as my customer, he wants to do Formula Pro and R Factor 2. Customer's king. Customer's gonna set the scene. And, well, I appreciate you guys' feedback. But of course, if this doesn't appeal to you because you don't want to see unofficial DLC and whatnot, then I can understand that. That's fine. But that is obviously then also your choice whether you want to watch it or rather don't want to watch it. And guys, with that, thank you so much for those that have watched and enjoyed, just like Sibaleni, who has learned a little bit here on this today's session. Much appreciating that feedback. And with that, guys, see you tomorrow for Le Mans Ultimate again. And then some of you, see you also in Sim Racing Expo on the weekend. Bye-bye.